Businesses can facilitate and accelerate change when it comes to meeting environmental, social, and governance goals to the benefit of their communities, but also to their employees, their investors, and even their customers. How do they move forward to create positive change for groups beyond their shareholders? I'm Jean Meserve. Here with me to discuss is Paul Knopp. Paul is U.S. Chair and Chief Executive Officer of KPMG US. Great to have you with us. So let me ask
Pleasure.
you first. The ESG landscape has changed significantly over the last few years. How are CEOs viewing that?
Gene, it's a pleasure to be with you. And there's a lot of momentum in the direction of ESG. That is a certainty. Whether it's thinking about the climate or the social element of ESG. And we see more than 60% of CEOs in our most recent KPMG CEO Outlook survey saying they're trying to lead with purpose to deliver long-term sustainable value for all stakeholders. We also see that 2 to 1 CEOs are saying that ESG improves financial performance, which is critically important. And we're seeing that CEOs want to lock in the gains they've had on sustainability during the pandemic as part of their mission on ESG. But really interesting to say too that CEOs are thinking about the how and trying to envision the how with respect to ESG. How do you operationalize? How do you transform those business models? And I think it's the reason we're seeing a lot of interest in our own KPMG ESG solution, KPMG Impact today.
Stakeholder capitalism is the in vogue phrase, and I'm wondering which stakeholders are standing out and how are corporations meeting their demands?
Well, Gene, certainly all stakeholders are relevant. We see institutional investors in our CEO survey is really standing out, the tip of the spear, but also the regulatory environment is very focused on climate. It's very focused on the human capital element of ESG. And we expect more requirements potentially coming out of the SEC when it comes to climate and human capital, more disclosure requirements, more transparency. And we certainly are seeing that in the EU. I think it's really important, though, to point out that our employees are a huge stakeholder when it comes to ESG. Employees want to work for organizations that have a purpose, and that purpose needs to be tied to the culture and to sustainability in the future. And there's no doubt that our customers are critically important when we think about ESG. They're looking at their suppliers and they're looking for accountability, transparency, and they're looking for progress when it comes to all elements of ESG.
You mentioned climate. The UN Climate Change Conference is coming up shortly. How are corporations going to respond to demands for decarbonization, and what is their role going to be vis-a-vis government?
Well, Gene, I already mentioned that one finding from our survey that CEOs, more than 75%, are looking to lock in the gains on sustainability, reduced emissions that we've had from the pandemic or during the pandemic. But they're also looking to mitigate financial risk. They're looking to improve their operating models. They're looking in some cases to really transform their own business models to lock in those gains and to improve operations. We see them trying to operationalize sustainable behavior, sustainable action to ensure that they are more efficient. They do realize those better financial performance metrics. And stepping back too, we've talked to many CEOs, and I engage with CEOs where we talk a lot about the same journey that we're on with respect to digital transformation. We're going to be on with respect to ESG, and they are very linked. The digitization of business, digitalization of business is leading to progress on several fronts with ESG, and we're seeing real strong progress in that area. I would say too, at KPMG, we're on our own journey. And it's very important to note that as part of our journey, we're committed to being a net zero organization by 2030, while also achieving a 50% reduction in direct and indirect greenhouse gas emissions, and also looking at setting the internal price of carbon. We've done that recently, and it's really leading to solid business decisions and operationalizing some of those business decisions that I referred to earlier. So we're seeing real progress at our own organization when it comes to ESG.
Is KPMG viewing ESG as a market opportunity?
There is no doubt that ESG is a huge market opportunity. We believe ESG has the power to really transform business. Again, companies are looking at ways to transform their business models to be more environmentally friendly, to connect more with their employees, to have better governance models moving forward into the future. And they're proactively addressing these ESG factors, not just because of the long-term societal impacts of ESG, Gene, but also because they're really trying to realize the benefits real time, realize the benefits today through better engagement on climate, through better engagement with our own employees, and certainly through engagement with our customers and our clients as we try to ensure that ESG is the watermark for everything. We kind of look at it at KPMG as the watermark through which everything runs in our organization. We tap into people to ensure that they are excited about the journey that we're on, but they're also very engaged in wanting to work with our clients to help our clients improve on their own ESG journey. And very importantly, Gene, too, last week we announced a $1.5 billion investment over the next 3 years for KPMG globally to harness the data around ESG to transform technologies to fit to the ESG solutions that we need, and also to invest in our people, invest in training, and expand our workforce when it comes to ESG capabilities in the future. So we really think that ESG is accelerating a lot of change, and we're certainly on that journey at KPMG, and we're certainly with KPMG Impact, the solution that we have that's diverse, it's multidisciplinarian, it's global. We're seeing a lot of interest in what we can deliver to the market with KPMG Impact.
Paul Knopp, U.S. Chair and Chief Executive Officer of KPMG US. Thanks so much for joining us. And
Thank you,
now back
Gene.
to the Washington Post.